I want everybody to have their 2-minute closing remarks. Can we begin with John Hutson against the motion?
Thank you, and thank you all for your patience. I started out some time ago now talking about the various considerations that we've been talking about tonight. Legal, moral, diplomatic, practical. But let me go to the one very quickly that I think is, for me, most convincing. The enemy can't beat us militarily. They've got no lift. They've got very little communication. They've got IEDs. They've got suicide bombers. They cannot defeat the United States of America militarily. But I'll tell you how we can lose this war on terror. We can commit national suicide. And the way we'll commit national suicide is by disarming ourselves, by giving up our greatest weapon. And our greatest weapon isn't our military might or our natural resources or the essential island nature of our land mass. It sure as heck isn't our economy right now. Our great strength is, Bono and Thomas Paine had it right, is who we are. And if we give up who we are as a nation, that's a victory for the enemy. The enemy knows they can't defeat us militarily. Killing us isn't their goal. Our will to win, defeating our will to win isn't the enemy's goal. The enemy's goal in the war on terror is to bring us down to them, to make us ever so slightly more like they are, to make us as miserable and pathetic as they are. And if we engage in the same tactics, they will have won that particular battle.
Heather, thank you very much, John Hutson. Now, Heather McDonald for the motion.
Well, I agree with the opponents that we need as highly trained interrogators as we can get. They should be as fully versed in language and cultural skills, and that clearly has been a weakness. But I would submit that the trained interrogators with the CIA were facing resistance that the existing tools that they had available to them was not able to overcome. And I don't believe that the 16 Army interrogation rules are the only possible interrogation techniques that should ever be available as we face an enemy that is not going to seek revenge because we are using stress, because they wanted to kill us 30 years ago, 40 years ago, and destroy as much as we can. I think that there are going to be times when stress is necessary. If we are facing an imminent threat, if we have somebody with knowledge of the next plot, we're not going to have time to spend the months that it can take to build rapport. And if using stress on somebody with knowledge of the next terrorist attack is necessary to save thousands of American lives, I think that it is acceptable and lawful and moral to do so.
Against the motion, Darius Rejali.
Is it better to be loved or feared? Loved or feared? The correct answer is that if you can fight with one hand tied behind your back and win, you will be loved and feared. And that's the American way. If you want to be merely loved, you'll be despised. If you really want to be feared, you'll be despised. My great-grandfather wanted to be feared. He was a very powerful Persian prince. He didn't hesitate to torture and kill anyone who got in his way. He clothed his values in blood, and no one misses him today, and his world is gone. I accepted this invitation today, regardless of this debate, win or lose, just to tell you all one thing I know. Don't make the same mistake my great-grandfather did. Don't make the same mistake the Shah of Iran did. No one will miss you either. Do not close the values that I have come to this country for. Do not close them in blood and make them a sham. I am really tired of having to move.
One.
And your parents were really tired of having to move. look, you can follow bagpipes into battle if you want, but the reality doesn't change. In the end, the Pied Piper keeps on playing all that hot air, the boys at the front die, and the pipers go back to the think tanks and have fine careers. You can't win a football game with a bunch of Hail Marys. You can't do it based on interrogation, based on faith. We've told you the only thing that really works: public cooperation, rapport building. And if you're still on the fence and you don't know where to vote, I just have it on good authority, by the way, that Rick Francona is a card-carrying member of Red Sox Nation.